Welcome back to another episode of the Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. Now, I actually wasn't planning on doing an additional episode today, but I realized after uploading the last video, there was a few things I actually forgot to talk about that I did kind of want to touch on. That video was running a bit long, but also there was one or two things I thought, you know what? I want to give a bit more of context rather than, a couple minutes, as, that was an amalgamation video, so to speak. So, that being said, I decided let's record another one, get a second upload for the day. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So the WBO ordered Terence Crawford to face Alexis Rocha for the 147-pound championship. Now, Terence Crawford has already been in negotiations with Oscar De La Hoya with regards to a potential Alexis Rocha fight, and I'm assuming probably a 2, maybe even 3 fight deal, to bring him over to the zone and take on some of the other Golden Boy promotion stable. Now, I've actually seen a lot of people essentially poo-pooing this fight, like, this is, why this is another David Avanesian type fight, like why are we doing this, whatever. Well, number one, first of all, it's a mandatory, so he either has to fight him or he has to give up the belt. We all know the fight everyone wants/wanted, but that fight can't happen for whatever reason at the moment. So realistically, I mean, what else? What do you want him to do? Just stay out of the ring until such a time as, maybe it does happen, or relinquish your belt, move up and take on another challenge. Maybe that's what you want instead. But me, quite frankly, I don't have an issue with the match. Do I think it's a foregone conclusion? Yeah. Alexis Rocha, actually, I like him. I think he's a good boxer, but he's not on Terence's level. Even a 35-year-old Terence, to me, he's pretty much going to be fish food, but it's a good keep busy fight. And again, it's a fight that was mandated. Now, I've also seen people say, whoa, why doesn't he just fight Virgil Ortiz instead? Like, why are you doing, why are you going for Rocha? Rocha's number 3 in the rankings. Well, who's number 1 and who's number 2? Virgil Ortiz, Jerome Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis is about to fight for an interim IBF title, and Virgil Ortiz is about to fight for the WBA regular title against Amanta Stanionis. He petitioned to fight for the WBA. Jerome Boots Ennis has been fighting in nothing but IBF eliminators for the last 2.5 years. So it's like, they've called Terence Crawford's name, but they're not pursuing the WBO route. So when that happens, okay, well, number 1 and number 2 are busy. You go to the next best on the list. Alexis Rocha's number 3. Again, I think it's a foregone conclusion, but it's definitely not a waste of time, because I think it will be fun. But I also do think another knockout is pending. I'll definitely be watching it. Fun fact, I actually cancelled my DAZN subscription yesterday. Well, technically it was going to get cancelled anyway because I haven't agreed to the price hike, but I've got my month until the 1st of April, and as soon as the 1st of April comes, I'll be setting up my new account with a new email address, etc., and then I'll just be getting the annual package, and yeah, moving forward I won't have to worry about those monthly charges. But neither here nor there, I'll be enjoying that and all the other decent content that is due to come along. I'm even starting to watch some of the other stuff that's on there now. I'm like, well, I'm paying for it, I might as well, So yeah, look, ultimately I don't think it's the greatest fight, but I don't think it's that bad either, especially considering some of the other fights that we're still being given now and what's being given to us via pay-per-view, or potential pay-per-view, I guess, for the American audience, which sometimes we don't necessarily get given in the same rate. But to be fair, for us as well, a lot of those fights are still kind of pay-per-view because they end up on Fight TV, which is a pay-per-view service. There's nothing free on Fight. So yeah, I mean, we're clearly not paying as much as you guys over in the US, but we still having to pay. But yeah, in terms of that, I would much rather watch a fight like this, and then maybe Virgil Ortiz can get a Terence Crawford fight later on down the line. You know, if he wins a WBA, if he gets elevated at some point, that's a unification. It's a natural unification fight. And in the meantime, you know, you can have Terence fight someone else afterwards. I mean, look, a fight that, I mean, Blair the Flair Cobbs, he's still over there. Now, me personally, I don't want to see Terence fight Blair, because that's a brutalizing type beating just waiting to happen. I don't really want to see that, but everyone knows I still want to see Blair the Flair Cobbs against Conor Benn. I just want to see it for the build-up. I think that would just be comedy gold for me. True WWE stuff. But yeah, look, overall, in terms of this fight, no issues with it. As soon as it does get made, I think they've got up until the 19th of March before purse bids are called, but they've been in negotiations for the last, I think, 3 to 4 weeks anyway. So yeah, I don't see it having to go there, and I think Terence is gonna end up in a 2 or 3 fight deal on Golden Boy, and at least that guarantees in some dates as well. So we'll see where we go. And yeah, overall, I don't really have a particular issue with it personally. I guess a loose segue to speaking on signing contracts. So John Fury has taken to social media on several occasions recently over the last sort of day, has basically called out Jake Paul and said that, look, we made a bet, we made an agreement on live TV that if Tommy wins, that, you know, he gets double the money. Well, I expect you to be a man of your word and give us the money. Now, in principle, I would say, yeah, that sounds correct, or a bet agreement, however you want to phrase it, because I know obviously there's certain laws in Saudi which prevent you being able to bet on anything. Sports gambling of any sorts is strictly forbidden within the region, and obviously within the faith. So we respect that. But there was a contract which was, you know, supposed to be signed in order to, you know, make that agreement legally binding. John Fury said, what did he say? Is it actual fact? He said in their face-off, we will have our lawyers look at this, and you have my word as the head of the Fury clan that this will be signed after our lawyers have looked at it. To this day, I saw there was video footage asked afterwards, did that contract get signed? Is it official? And John Fury was up in arms, like pushing cameras out the way, get out of here, blah, blah, blah. So we're all led to believe Tommy Fury never signed it. Jake Paul did, but Tommy Fury didn't. Or John Fury didn't either. So now he's saying, oh, well, don't come to me about contracts and blah, blah, blah. I'm a gypsy. Can't even read and write that well. You know, handshake is as good as a contract, blah, blah. So I need to find out if Tommy had have lost that fight, would a handshake still have been as good as the contract, or would you say, no, well, we didn't sign anything. Nope, we want our $5 or $7 million or whatever it was that you were due to earn. Would that same energy have been kept? I have to assume no. So, look, when it comes to, there's one thing, right, that Jake Paul did say. I think it was in that sort of that face-to-face that they had, him and Tommy Fury. He said, why is your dad always in the background talking? And look, I have to agree. Look, there's a reason. I think there was a particular reason that Tyson Fury was so quick to jump over to the USA and do his fights out there, outside of getting love from the US and being able to rebrand himself different to obviously what had been known of him in the UK. I definitely think there was an element of, I kind of just want to get away from my dad for a bit, do my own thing, because, you know, realistically, if the dad is that big a part of the team, you know, and he's not allowed to travel, but, you know, Tyson is staying out there for extended periods of time. It's not like he's just flying out there a couple weeks for the fight and then coming back. Like, he's out there for months and months on end, coming back here for a few weeks and then going back out there. Is that to get away from his dad, or to not have his dad as involved as maybe his dad wants to be? And now the dad is essentially doing the exact same thing for Tommy instead. That could be a possibility. But yeah, I just got. He's just always in the spotlight. He truly is the P Diddy of the Fury clan. Like, he's not the most talented. Was never the most talented, but just seems to be all up in the videos, like, you know, just all over the tracks, talking when he doesn't need to talk. It's between Jake and it's between Tommy. Like, why are you in the background directing traffic? It's not your time. Like, let your children have their time in it. As much as I don't like any of that clan, I want to not like them for them as opposed to for what you're doing in their circumstances. But yeah, look, with regards to the bet, if it was just all about the handshake and that's how they had done it, okay, handshake, and there was no paperwork drawn out, there was no contract brought out, anything, I would have said, well, cool, I saw it, yeah, you know what, Jake, pay him that money, like, I get it. But it was a legal agreement which you refused to sign, as far as we are aware. So ultimately, like, allow the videos in it, because you look stupid. Even, you know, Nikisa himself, he said, quite frankly, you are on video, we have you on camera saying that you're not going to sign this agreement. So therefore, if he decides to now release that, what's John gonna say? Oh yeah, don't talk to me about contracts, we don't do that in our culture. Well, unfortunately, you're not in your neck of the woods where your culture means anything. You were in Saudi Arabia, who could care less about your traveler background. Jake is American, he could care less about your traveler background right now, or he's in Puerto Rico, where he's probably there at the moment, same regions, whatever. But yeah, so anywhere that holds weight is ultimately in the UK, and those guys ain't over here, they don't care. So yeah, get outside, get out the videos, go back into the background, just chill out. This ain't your time. Let Tommy have his time. He's not out there chasing the money, so I don't know why you are. Like, relax in it. And I guess another very loose segue, talking about potential deals and things that could be made, which may not be made, but you know, might happen. So Alicia Baumgartner has recently been, you know, sort of sunning the red carpets of Los Angeles for the Creed 3 premiere, and all over her Twitter, all over her Instagram, she is loving life right now. But she put out a tweet the other day after the announcement of the cancellation of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, basically just saying, you guys know what to do. So essentially what she's referring to is she wants everyone to be up in Eddie Hearn's mentions, in his comments, in his DMs, pushing her to be the new opponent for Katie Taylor. Now again, undisputed versus undisputed, it makes sense. It could sell. It could definitely sell in the 3 arena. I mean, yeah, it may not do the Croke Park at this particular moment in time, because there's not that built up rivalry between those two, but it would definitely do numbers, whether it was in Ireland, whether it was in the UK, or even in the US. She's definitely building a name for herself, and she will talk up that fight, I think, even a lot better than Amanda Serrano would. Like, you can just tell that she's a promotional machine in that sense. She knows how to get her name out there. I'd like to see that fight at some point, if I'm honest. I do think that if the Amanda Serrano fight happened and Katie came through that, I definitely would have liked to have seen, you know, undisputed 130 and 135. To be fair, I'd also like to see 126 to 130. I'd like to see Amanda Serrano undisputed versus Alicia Baumgartner undisputed. That also would be a very interesting fight for me. So any variation of those. Again, I was talking about sort of the Chantel Cameron thing a little earlier on. I do believe that she does deserve her moment in the sun. So I do hope that if Amanda's gonna be out for any extended period of time, again, that Chantel gets that fight. I would rather her have that fight next. And you know, if she gets down to 135, then put both sets of belts on the line, and you know, that would give it more sense for Katie as well, because you know, Chantel used to campaign at 135. She says she still can make it quite comfortably. So that's the fight I want to see in the absence, to be honest. She deserves her spot, although I guess she's not going to end up getting moved off of that 1st of April card. So more than likely, maybe you can do that one towards the back of the year. But if like I said, if Amanda can't do anything for an extended period of time, even if you keep Chantel towards the back of the year, let her fight April, then let her fight again sort of October, November instead. Like, let Alicia have that shot. You know, she's making waves, and at the end of the day, there's only about 3 people that Katie can make big money with at this point. It's Alicia, it's Amanda, and it's Chantel. I mean, she can make money with anyone, to be fair, but in terms of that big money, it's those ones. The outside chance could potentially be a Natasha Jonas rematch, because obviously she is a unified champion as well. There was, you know, that was a good scrap that they had, similar age ranges as well, so it's you know, it's the similar type of wear and tears and you know, yeah, just general sort of age, movement, if there's any slowdown or abilities, you know, they're within that same age range, so that could potentially work. The others are obviously a lot younger, and Katie is essentially going to be like the old lioness, trying to, you know, still trying to control the pride when you got the young cubs on their way up trying to take over. Maybe that narrative fits a little better than old lioness versus old lioness, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I would like to see the Alicia fight, and if she doesn't get that one, I just want to see her in a nice big one. She says she wants to be out again sort of May, June time, so to me it makes perfect sense if Amanda's going to be out for any extended length of time. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, let me leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Again, Hardcore Casual out.